post publicly and what might end up shooting me in the foot or not be appropriate to share regarding my own personal practice. But I will tell you that I will probably be bringing up some things about the lunar mansions and also about the Egyptian Neter Khans, and possibly also to the just depending on how things go. So I'm going to go ahead and cleanse the space, and then I'm going to show you what tools I will be working with today. I will be using turquoise for the scrying, but I didn't pull out my turquoise yet. Maybe I'll use obsidian. I haven't decided. My moon is in Scorpio, so I'm feeling extra secretive lately. Despite what my spouse says, which is that secrets are for perverts. And that's just a lovely, fragrant way of clearing the space. So let's look at the tools that I'll be using for the readings this week. Going along with getting into the energy of the moon, I'm going to be using the Luna edition of the Ethereal Visions Tarot. It's a very beautiful holographic deck. I am also going to be using a deck I designed myself. So, call this the Lunacy deck. And I'll show you the 3 parts, just broken into the major arcana of the tarot. This would be the High Priestess card. Mentis is a Coptic word about knowing and understanding. And of course, that was the moon card that you saw in the thumbnail. I have the 28 lunar mansions in card format as well that are part of this deck. And the phases of the moon. Oh, hi, Tim. Thank you for coming by. I do apologize. I will not be wearing the leather gloves today because it is too difficult to shuffle cards. And we will be starting with the water sign of Cancer. So come over here and write down my timestamps. Cancer, Scorpio, of course, and Pisces. So the Cancer reading is probably going to start around the 7-minute mark. And So, Cancer, if you would like, just relax. Take a moment to take some deep breaths. Release any tension you've been holding on to and just gently allow it to be replaced because you never want to leave a void. Voids will fill themselves. Allow all your tension and stress to be replaced with the divine white light of Source. So I'm going to be doing the readings a little bit differently. Hi, countries of the world. Thank you for stopping by. It's good to see you today. How are you? Happy Monday. So I'm laying out most of the Celtic cross as usual. And then I'm going to be drawing one moon cycle card, one of the lunar mansion cards, and one of the major arcana. I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. Ah, yes, wonderful. Mm-hmm. And one of these. And then we'll be ready to go. Okay, so. Oh, it is 13:03 here, so early afternoon. It's quite late there in Scotland. Well, I guess I have a very early bedtime. So, Cancer, the major arcana card that I've pulled from the lunacy deck is Dynamis. So, this is about strength, force. You can see this is your neighbor sign, Leo's card in the major arcana. This is a theta symbol, and the theta has the numerical correspondence of the number 9. But of course, we know that oftentimes the strength card is number 8, right? So, Dynamis is about force, it's about strength. You can see that this woman is creating a lemniscat, an infinity symbol shape, using this force, using her own power to generate that. We have the lunar mansion of Al-Na'am, which is the beam. And the beam is also about directed action. So this would be like the first part of Sagittarius. And we have the centaur here pulling back that arrow to strike. And then the moon cycle is the waning crescent. So we are going the little last dregs of energy into the new moon period. Now, of course, as far as the moon energies would be concerned, the waning crescent is going to be the, as I mentioned, very tail end of that energetic cycle. But with the new moon, we're kind of flipping into a new cycle. And then it will start growing again. That energetic shift that we get with the lunar cycles. So I do see that there's a lot of directed action for you right now and a lot of focus, even if your energy levels are not quite where you'd like them to be, you're still getting things accomplished. For your past energy, Cancer, we have the Three of Cups reversed. So the Three of Cups can have to do with these close-knit friend groups, can have to do with spending time among close friends. You can see they're all holding these cups. Cups are a water sign suit. And some of them, the two figures here on either side, are actually kind of guarding their cups rather carefully. She's dipping her fingers into the contents of the chalice. It looks like she's covering up the cup, so she might be hiding emotions. And this figure here is raising up her cup for all to see. So, at some point in the past, you might have been very emotionally vulnerable with other people too. And because this card is reversed and in the past, I think that you might not be as emotionally vulnerable now. Let's move into the current situation. We have the Page of Wands and the Knight of Cups crossing each other. So this Page of Wands energy, we're looking at this very directed, energetic push. And it could have to do with a new endeavor. So the kind of energy that you put into a new project when it's fresh and when you're feeling very excited about it. This Knight of Cups could represent you, Cancer. The Knight of Cups also represents being very true to one's heart and one's gut and listening to what you're feeling and letting your reactions and your movements be guided by that. The Knight of Cups also is looking toward the future. So how I have the cards laid out, he is looking toward the card that sits in the future position with enthusiasm. Down in the Imam Silai, this is the energy of all of the actions that are going to be going into what ends up happening in the future. We have the Seven of Wands here. And if you notice, this yeoman, this figure here, has a lot in common with this Page of Wands energy. So the Seven of Wands has to do with defending one's position. You have attained some kind of position that is enviable to others. And you are now expected to defend it from them. So this youthful exuberance, because the page is quite young, a little bit inexperienced, but there's still the possibility to be able to fend off these attackers. They don't necessarily need to be outright attacking you, right? So sometimes the Seven of Wands would be if you are an exemplary employee at your place of work and other people are either trying to outdo you, or this wouldn't necessarily be people talking ill of your work, but they might be trying to take credit for your work. It would be that kind of a situation. And this is very predominant in things like artistic circles. So if you're involved with theater, or if you're an actor trying to get jobs, or a musician trying to get gigs, you might be the preferred choice. And all of these people are trying to unseat that. Here in the future position, we have the King of Pentacles. So not only will they be unsuccessful in unseating you, but you are about to rise to a place of great prominence, Cancer, where your finances are concerned and your stability. King of Pentacles can sometimes be associated with Taurus, which is the second house ruler and is very concerned with personal comfort. And here in the midheaven, we have the Knight of Swords reversed. So this is the goal or destiny position. And we have, in comparison to the Knight of Cups, right, which is your current situation, where we see the Knight of Swords. Now we're looking at situations where discernment takes place in the mind. This is a transition away from following your gut instincts and being more emotional. That now we are merging the ideas that we believe in with our logic and discernment. Now, the Knight of Swords is very good at navigating situations where there's a clear right and wrong answer. The Knight of Swords is not as skilled in situations where there is a lot of gray area and needing to parse things out in more specific terms in order to navigate that moral terrain. So, this card being in the reverse and being in a future position, it could be that you will be moving into this form of discernment coming up soon, but you don't see that yet. Another possibility, and I would look out for this, because remember, down here in the Imam Silai, we were looking at the Seven of Wands, where all of these people are going to be trying to find ways to unseat you. The King of Swords in the reverse can also be about cancel culture, where people are being too dogmatic and not enough invested in the reality over the discourse. Like those who are terminally online and who have all of these ideals that they want to promote, but aren't quite equipped to put that into practical application. So, maintain your stability. This will be very much geared toward Cancers who also have a lot of earth energy in their chart. But the King of Pentacles is an incredibly grounded person. So make sure that you're remaining grounded in these times. And it will make it much harder for people to take you down a peg or two, especially when that is unwarranted. And in a lot of cases, it ends up being unwarranted. All right, so that is going to conclude the Cancer reading for this week. And I'm just going to turn these cards over. And then we will move on to the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio, 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 Scorpio. So, Scorpio, if you would, just kind of relax. Allow any issues that you would like to have clarity about to float gently into the forefront of your mind. Don't fixate on them. Don't work yourself up over them. If you do find yourself becoming anxious or tense, just take some wonderful, deep, clarifying breaths. As you inhale, pull in the divine white light of Source. And then as you exhale, just release any of those things that no longer serve you, your tension and your stress. And always remember to be pulling in that divine white light of Source. You don't want to leave a void there. You want to be bringing in positive vibration to raise yourself up. Oh, interesting, interesting. Yes. I see. We've got some very strong cards in your reading this week, Scorpio. This is the card for sure. Ah, yes. Okay. This one? This one. Ah, okay. And finally, one of these major arcana cards. Yes, yes, yes. Very powerful reading for you this week, Scorpio. Hold on, I kind of want to adjust this so it's not auto. Okay. I apologize. I should have done that ahead of time, but sometimes my light meters move around on me, and I just wanted to set that. So, Scorpio, let's talk about what we have for you here. The major arcana card that I've pulled for you from this, I call it the lunacy deck that I've designed, is the Hanged Man, Stasis, elemental water card. So this would be appropriate for any of the signs that I'm reading for today. We have the planet Neptune also associated with this energy. And it's the letter M. I don't remember how it's called in Coptic. And it is also the number 40. Let me just... Yeah, this is the letter Me. And you can see this figure balancing themselves on this pole in the water. They're suspended. They are in stasis. They will not remain this way forever. They are currently aligning themselves with this energy of water, the flow, the give and take part of the flow. So there might be some aspects of sacrifice to what you have going on in your life right now. Some aspects of stasis, of being a bit stuck, perhaps. We're looking at the energy of the last quarter moon. So this is going to be heading into the new moon. It's going to be, as you see, when the moon is half full, but it is waning. And this is a good period of time to clear out any energies that are no longer serving you, clearing blockages, cutting cords, etc. And we also see at this time the lunar mansion of Al-Shaula, which is in the tail of Scorpio. So this is the last part of Scorpio as we go into Sagittarius. So this is, I apologize, strangers keep calling me. So this would be coming actually right before Al-Na'am, which we saw in the Cancer reading. But you did see me shuffle the cards. So Al-Shawla is about protection and can also be about healing energies. And of course, as we are doing the Scorpio reading, would be aligned with scorpionic energies, especially related to the moon. So, here in the past for you, Scorpio, we have the Page of Pentacles. You could have recently taken a new job, or you could have recently received a job offer or an offer of a new way to make money. And if this hasn't happened for you quite yet, it could be something that is in the process of happening, because this card is in the upright. So it would have happened recently enough that those energies are still very dominant in your life. Here in the current situation, we have the Hermit in reverse. It is time to come out of seclusion. This is Virgo's card in the Major Arcana. It has a lot to do with self-searching. It is not quite the same, of course, as this Hanged Man energy, but there are some similarities, right? So in the case of the Hermit, there is seclusion, there is self-searching. A lot of times there is a connotation to the Hanged Man energy, that the reason this person is suspending themselves in such a way is not just as a form of punishment, but as a path to enlightenment. So coming out of seclusion, coming out of this period of self-discovery, and we have it crossed by the Wheel of Fortune. So we see here on this card the 4 fixed sign energies. You, Scorpio, are represented over here by the eagle. Okay. And the Wheel of Fortune is really a card about how things come around again. Fate is never always against your favor. Sometimes fortune comes because the time is right. So this is a card to remind you of that things are never going to be bad forever. And that as time presses onward, some things will get better and some things inevitably do get worse. But most things do have cycles. And so here we see you coming into a cycle, a new cycle. So remember, any clearing out of old energies that you need to do, this is a good time to do that for protection and for healing. But the time for seclusion is over. Now you're going to have to be doing those things in the public eye. So we're going to look now at the EF. And the EF is basically the origins of everything that's going to be happening in the goal or destiny. It's kind of down here, I imagine, with my Celtic cross, that I have the 12 houses laid out on top. And so the EF is actually the cusp of the 3rd and 4th houses. And it represents the origins of situations. So the origins of your destiny are here in the King of Cups. This could be somebody who is a benefactor to you. This could be a mentor. Could be your energy in this situation, Scorpio, because we see here on the head of his staff that he does have an eagle depicted, aligning him with scorpionic energies. The King of Cups is a paternal figure, a avuncular figure, somebody who cares for others in an active way. This would be somebody who could be a philanthropist, could be somebody who is offering room and board, takes care of others financially and emotionally, or either or. So this could be what you are embodying, or this could be a person, Scorpio, who comes into your life to help you at this time. Could even represent your own father, depending on what your relationship is like. Here in the future, we have a wonderful counterbalance to what we see with this Page of Pentacles in the past. So the Page of Cups here represents an offering from somebody else. This card being in the future and being reversed, I think this is something coming in for you that you don't see yet, that you have no idea is coming towards you. This is a good time for you to start to kind of incorporate yourself back into society if you have secluded yourself. It might be a good time to kind of come out of this stasis, start defrosting, if you will. And so this last quarter moon, this is going to be your opportunity to get rid of all of the remaining baggage that you've mostly tied up, all these loose ends, right? And now you're coming into a period where you're going to be healing more publicly. I know I said that before, but I just want to reiterate it in the context as all the cards come out. So then finally here we have the midheaven position. This is going to be the outcome, the goal or destiny that is achieved by the actions here in the EF with this King of Cups. Up here in the midheaven, we have the King of Wands. So this is an absolutely polarized flip, energy-wise, from the King of Cups. The King of Wands is somebody who's very charismatic. This could be a Leo person, a fire sign person. Doesn't have to be, though. But somebody who leads by charm and charisma. The King of Wands is very powerful in a very creative sense. The wands, of course, are about your passion and your energy. So the King of Wands is a very passionate person. You might have a new offering coming in about which you end up being very passionate and very successful, Scorpio. So that is going to conclude the Scorpio reading for this week. And now we are going to move on to the sign of Pisces. Pisces. So I'm just going to flip over all of these cards so they'll be ready for me when I go over to the members side of the channel and do the crystal scrying. A lot of the stones that I use for scrying are actually very lunar in their correspondence. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm going to be doing a lot of very intense lunar magic over the next couple of weeks. And I may or may not talk about some of the things I'm doing on the channel. But I will probably talk about the lunar mansions at the very least. So Pisces, go ahead and allow yourself to slip into a receptive state of mind. Any things that are troubling you would like to address in the reading, allow them to kind of float to the surface of your consciousness. Don't stress out about them. Don't worry about them too much. Just allow them to float there. And wait until they are addressed. You can also, if you are feeling stress or tension, inhale deeply but gently the divine white light of Source. And then just allow it to wash out all of the tension and stress and anxiety you might be holding on to. And as you exhale, just sigh all of those things out. Allow them to return to Source so they can be transmuted into a higher vibration. Okay, Pisces, I am almost done shuffling your cards. All right. Very powerful lunar card coming out. Some cups. The best cup of all. And then we will pull some of these lunar cards as well. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Yes. Very good, Pisces. Yes, so we've gotten the High Priestess twice. All right, let me begin with these 3 cards from the Lunacy deck. So, as I mentioned, we have the High Priestess. This is Gamma and is also the number 3. You can see here that the High Priestess has a lunar correspondence. And through that lunar correspondence, can also be seen as corresponding to Cancer, and your sign Pisces. Now, why your sign Pisces? Well, because your card in the major arcana is the moon card. So that's how you connect those two. The High Priestess is somebody who knows everything, has access to all information through means of oracular sight. Oracular sight. Someone who takes part in divination. Somebody who is able to straddle effectively the space between the pillars of mercy and severity, the middle pillar, if you will, a priestess, someone who communes with the spirits and with higher powers. Pisces, we also have for you the waxing crescent. So, right after the energy of the new moon, we get this first little sliver of light coming back, the building of this energy. And the lunar mansion of Al-Shuratain reinforces this. Al-Shuratain is about taking action, the two signals, the two horns of the ram. That we are looking at the beginning of a new cycle, energetically speaking. Here in the past, we have the Ten of Swords, and it's reversed. So not only has this cycle ended, but it's over, it's done with. It's not affecting your life anymore. This could have been a very painful ending. It could have just been an ending that was inevitable, that absolutely had to occur. In the current situation, Pisces, we do have the High Priestess coming out again. You can see she's clutching this book. It almost looks as though she might have had a page marked with her fingers. You see that? She might have had her fingers in between the pages and pulled them out to avoid giving away where she had the book marked. She's very serene. She doesn't have her eyes closed, but they are very heavily lidded. There's kind of this liminal state of consciousness that the High Priestess occupies most of the time. Again, we're looking at sacred knowledge, communion with the higher power, and a deeper understanding of things based on one's psychic abilities and intuition, which as a Pisces, I'm sure you know a lot about. This is crossed by the Five of Pentacles. So we see here these two figures offering each other warmth and comfort in a time of duress. The implication is there that they are out in the cold, possibly on the streets. We see in the background something suggestive of the window of a church, that you could go inside at any time and receive the comfort and warmth of the higher power. The High Priestess is also a very solitary figure. So it's interesting that on this card we do see that one thing about the Five of Pentacles is that even though these people are in an unfortunate circumstance, they're at least together. They have each other. The High Priestess, however, in some ways, she doesn't need the comfort of human compassion. But in other ways, it is a very lonely space to occupy. And of course, one thing about celestial beings occupying physical bodies is that we come here to find out about things like emotional warmth and feelings and growth. And we see evidence of this down in the MMCLI. We have the Ace of Cups reversed. So I am getting for you at this time, Pisces, a bit of a lonely energy. Now, I think with that High Priestess energy, there are a lot of things you know to be true. You probably know yourself very well. And you know what it will take to seek out emotional warmth and fulfillment from others. This could have been a heartbreak. It could have been the ending of a close friendship. It could have been a falling out with one's family. It could represent all kinds of endings. And now you've come into a place where you are going to be able to grow emotionally. But I see that at this time, you are still guarding yourself very closely, Pisces. This Ace of Cups being reversed and being in the current situation shows that the potential for a new emotional beginning is there. But that for whatever reason, Pisces, which it might even be different for all of you, as this is a general reading, that you have not taken that initiative yet. But I think everything will work out because I can see all the cards already, but I'll show them to you in just a moment. Here in the future, we have the Eight of Cups, and this card also is showing up reversed, but it's in the future. So what we see here is the potential to move on. Sometimes the Eight of Cups can be physical movement, that either you move to a new place or you leave something physical behind, like a job or a living situation or a friend group or something like that. But the Eight of Cups, because we are speaking of the Suit of Cups here, which has to do with emotional states, has to do with the element of water, which I am going to be very obsessed with over the next couple of weeks. So just be forewarned. The Eight of Cups in this case might be you moving on from whatever situation this represents, that you will finally have emotional closure, but you don't see it yet. And I know that because this card is coming out reversed for the future, and because in the current situation you are still kind of holding on to this feeling of lack in your life, even though you very much know better. You know how to be satisfied and emotionally content in yourself as the High Priestess. But for the time being, you might be feeling a bit of lack. But that will be coming to an end soon. Because finally, up here in the midheaven, which represents the goal or destiny position, we have the Ten of Cups. This is emotional fulfillment and satiety. This is not just the wish fulfillment of the Nine of Cups. This is people coming together to be emotionally close to one another. We have these two who are very much in love. We also have their baby. So this is also the potential to start a family, if that is something that you would like in your future, Pisces. Thank you so much for joining me today. My final thoughts on the Pisces reading. Don't be afraid to open yourself up again, because this is the ideal time for you to begin a new cycle. Thank you to everyone who joined me here on the Water Signs live stream. These readings are timeless, so whatever time you find it, it's right for you. I also do personal readings, and you can find that information down in the description box. I will not be soliciting you in the comments here or on any other social network. But thank you. I will be heading over to the member side of the channel to do the crystal scrying, so that if that interests you, I invite you to join us. But it is not necessary. Don't forget to like, share, and possibly subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.